We're not free. We're not free as a country, as a people, because there's not equality. There's still systematic racism. There's still trouble. There's still so much as a people, we are not free. We're being discriminated against. We're being pitted against each other. We're just not free from the control of the economy, which is money.
It seems random, but I got purpose. Things coming together so beautifully. One day, it'll all make sense. Just you wait and see. Take this journey with me. Purposely random, purposely random, purposely random, purposely random.
Hey, what's up, you guys? It's your girl, Angela Alise, and this is the podcast, Purposely Random, a podcast by Angela Alise. Let's get into the theme song. Got to take care of, got to take care of, got to take care of your mind. Oh, free your emotions, explore your thoughts, bring the subconscious into the forefront of who you're being. Find peace, be okay with not being okay every day. Yeah, got to take care of, got to take care of, got to take care of your mind. Oh, got to take care of, got to take care of, got to take care of your mind. I almost forgot some of the lyrics because I was just going off the top of the dome. As you know, this is episode tres, all three of y'all, of our mental health series. And today we're going to be talking about anxiety, panic attacks, coping skills, and recap of last week. And I'm sure I'll think of some other stuff. I have a docket, but I didn't memorize it. Y'all bear with me. Okay, so last week we talked about trauma, and I hope you guys really learned a lot about that. It was kind of a different episode for me because I was really doing a lot of reading and I had to do a lot of editing because I kept on messing up, and I just realized that's not my ministry. That's a new saying that I've been saying. I think, I don't know who was saying it on YouTube or some TV show, and I was like, huh, that's not my ministry. I like that. So that's my new catchphrase. So what is trauma? Trauma is a deep, distressing, or disturbing experience. Psychological trauma is damage to the mind that occurs as a result of a distressing event. Trauma is also the result, trauma is often the result of an overwhelming amount of the emotions involved with the experience. So, we talked a lot about that. If you want to get more into exactly what we talked about, go back episode 14. It's a good one. It's a really, really good one. So let's talk about anxiety. If you're hearing papers in the background, that's because I got papers. I've dealt a lot with anxiety. First, before we get into anxiety, I kind of want to talk to you guys about my journey with anxiety and panic attacks. And I've had anxiety like my whole life. I've always been really, really anxious. I would get sweaty palms, heart palpitations, and acceleration, and just especially when I drink coffee. I notice when I get older, as I gotten older, coffee ain't doing it for me. All y'all people that drink these high caffeinated drinks, power to you. I just have to be sleepy or drink some tea. Because if I try to drink coffee, I'm gonna think I'm dying. I think someone's gonna give me something bad's gonna happen, and I don't like feeling like that. So let's talk about anxiety. Anxiety is a normal response to feeling threatened. How vulnerable people feel in different situations differ between individuals. and can be influenced by past experiences as well as by the beliefs and attitudes they hold and are taught about these situations. Anxiety can range from mild uneasiness and worry to severe panic. At a reasonable level, short bursts of anxiety can motivate us and enhance our performance. But if anxiety becomes too severe or chronic, it becomes debilitating, preventing us from living our daily lives or reaching our full potential. Anxiety typically involves an emotional component, such as fear or nervousness, a physical component, such as trembling, shaking, a dry mouth, racing heart, stomach churning, and a feeling of cognitive component, frightening thoughts, such as I'm going to fail or make a fool of myself or even lose control. These can then affect our behavior. For example, by putting off or stopping work, avoiding people, not sleeping, or drinking too much. So that's a little bit about anxiety. Um, I know that we don't really talk about a lot of our anxieties, maybe like work anxiety, but anxiety is all around us. And if we don't learn how to treat this anxiety and how to cope with it and to move through it, not get over it, but move through it, we are at a loss. We have to continue to strive and to go through life so that we can really propel ourselves to the next level. I mentioned reaching our full potential, and you know, performance anxiety is real, but you have to then perform. Okay, so let's get into panic attacks. A panic attack is an intense and sudden feeling of fear and anxiety. It can have many physical symptoms such as a rapid heartbeat, trembling, rapid shallow breathing, pins and needles in the arm, and feeling faint or dizzy. Many people who have a panic attack fear that they will have a heart attack, collapse, or die. These attacks do not cause long term health problems and usually go away between 5 minutes and a half an hour. The body has an automatic fear response that prepares you to either cope with or run away from danger. So the flight or fight and even freeze coping mechanisms. A panic attack results when this fight or flight or freeze response either goes into overdrive or becomes activated when it is not needed at all. During a panic attack, your nervous system reacts as if you are facing a life threatening situation, even though you may not be in danger. This response causes alarming physical symptoms and feelings. Panic disorder is diagnosed when you have repeated panic attacks, you worry about having another attack, and you avoid places that you think may cause one. It is possible to have panic attack without developing panic disorder, and panic attacks can occur with other anxiety disorders. So I hope that kind of breaks down a little bit about what the differences are between a panic and anxiety attack. I wanted to talk to you guys about a moment in my life when I was going through severe anxiety and I was having panic attacks. It manifested in my driving. So last year, 2019, I had just gotten laid off of my job of 5 years. I had anxiety about finding a new job, and my grandpa passed away, and my 3 year on and off again relationship was coming to an end, and just a lot was going on. I just felt so many things, and not only was I mourning the loss of my old job, but I was getting this new job, and they were just so unorganized, and they just really weren't supporting what they said that I would be hired for and moving into those positions. So I was just having so much anxiety that it manifested into driving. One day I was driving to someone's house, and all of a sudden I just had to pull over. I couldn't hardly breathe. I just kept feeling I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die. I had to pull over to the side, and thankfully I was able to continue driving after a moment of calming down and breathing deeply and praying, um, and that was the first. Um, then after a while, I just kept having them, especially at night when I was driving. I would have these anxiety attacks. I had to pull over on the freeway at least 6 times. And thankfully, I'm to a point now where sometimes I still feel anxiety when I drive, but I haven't had panic attacks in months. Um, but it was just a symptom of my life feeling like it was out of control at that time, with everything going on, with so many changes happening all at once. I just felt I didn't have any control, and I was feeling like I'm not going to break in time, or someone's going to hit me. And oh wow, it was just really a trying time in my life. So let's talk about some ideas for coping with our anxiety and panic attacks. So some things you might want to do specifically for anxiety and panic attacks is splash your face with cold water. This reduces a drive reflex and causes your brain to send messages to your body to slow down. Distraction. Count down from 100 as fast as you can. Repeat over and over. Do math problems or anything else that occupies your mind. Listen to your favorite music loudly and sing along to it. Say to yourself, this has never hurt me. It has never hurt me or anyone else, and it never will. I know what it is, and it means nothing. Dispower the attack. Tell yourself that what you are feeling are sensations, nothing more, and that the sensations never hurt anyone. This was something that I really do. I watch a lot of funny videos on TV, and I laugh out loud. Um, it says, don't look at yourself in the mirror. I have to look at myself in the mirror when I am driving, because I'm like, okay, you're here. You're in control. You got this. I trust your decisions. I have to look at myself. So I'm doing the exact opposite. But you always have to find what works for you. Like this is definitely advice. But find what works for you. These are just suggestions. Um, it also says keep some apples in the fridge. Eat one, then another if you wish. Gently slap your cheeks and dance around. Confuse your thoughts to distract them. In the night, get out of bed, turn on the TV, get a drink, eat an apple, and keep moving. They really love apples in this. Talk to someone on the phone. Do not discuss your anxiety. Do something physical if you can, and do not sit down. Keep moving. So those are some suggestions for anxiety and for panic attacks, like we talked about. Now we're going to get into negative and positive coping skills. So last week we did talk about the trauma, and we talked about PTSD. We talked about a lot of great things. So let's talk about coping skills when it comes to going and dealing with the trauma that you might be experiencing. Okay, negative coping skills. Criticizing yourself or negative self-talk. I'm never going to be good enough. I'm a loser. I'm lonely. I'm always going to be lonely. I'm nobody. I'm not important. Becoming aggressive or violent with others, or, punching yourself, self-harm, eating too much or too little, drinking excessive amounts of alcohol, using drugs, yelling at others, and avoiding friends and family. Those could all be negative coping responses. Also, I like to call them survival skills. So things that we learned, our brain did for us, did these things for us. And this is like, oh, we saw our family members do this. We saw our family members drink. We saw our family members yell at each other or fight when things got crazy. So that's what we're doing. But we need to break that cycle. Positive coping responses. Listening to music. A lot of these you might hear from the other thing. Listening to music, play with a pet, laughing or crying, going out with friends, taking a bath or shower. I love to take a detox bath. I get my Dead Sea salt, I get my Epsom salt, I get my baking soda, I get my tea tree oil. and I just soak in it and have a good time. I love it. It makes you feel cleaned from the inside out. Um, Creative activities, painting, writing, singing. As you guys see, you guys see a lot of my uh, paintings, original art in the back. I love it. It's something that is a kind of a newer skill, and I'm not perfect, but it's good to me. um, Praying or going to church. I know that right now with COVID-19, we're really not going to places, mass gatherings, but if you can, listen to scriptures on or go to your church virtually, go to as many meetings as you can virtually, and get around other people that share your faith. Exercising, going outside, situations, discussing the situations when it says gardening or making repairs, deep breathing, making a follow up with an action plan. So, making or following up with the action plan. And lastly, seeking counseling. So, now that you guys learned a little bit about negative and positive coping skills, let's take some time to think about our own lives. How are we negatively coping with things? And how are we positively coping with things? Take some time this week to write out a list about some things that you do when you're handling your anxiety or your stress. All right. Now, let's get into our social awareness moments. Today, I'm going to be posting this tomorrow, but today is Juneteenth, and what a beautiful day it is. I posted on my Facebook, I said, it's Juneteenth, baby. We still ain't free, but the revolution will be televised. And what I mean by that is we're not free. We're not free as a country, as a people, because there's not equality. There's still systematic racism. There's still trouble. There's still so much as a people, we are not free. We're being discriminated against. We're being pitted against each other. We're just not free from the control of the economy, which is money, and we're controlled by greed. But I love to celebrate Juneteenth because it means that we are free. I mean, there's still very much closely after that. You had sharecropping, which was another way of oppressing Black people, and you had Jim Crow laws. So don't think just because we were freed 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation, just by chance, just because someone said, "Oh, the war's over. By the way, y'all free." But you can go back and just ask your old slave master. They'll pay you now. Like, you don't have to work for free anymore, but we still want you to use this only skill set that you have. So it's bittersweet, but the more that we're doing now in 2020, the more hope that I have that we'll be free, and the more that we educate each other on these things, on these true occurrences, not just the victors' history, because they get to write the rule books, they get to write the history books because they won. But now we're all winning, and we're on our course. We're on our course to winning. So I'm so excited about that. I'm so excited about today. And let's just continue to grow and educate ourselves about more than just Black Lives Matter, because I'm wholeheartedly for Black Lives Matter, but I want us to educate ourselves on systematic racism. I want us to infiltrate and take over the system that was pitted against us, that has been holding us and oppressing us and keeping us as slaves to the economy for far too long. It's time to wake up. It's time to wake up. It's time to be free. It's time to live life and reach our fullest potential. So on that note, I think this is a good place to stop. I'm going to film something else right after this because I feel like it's been kind of heavy, with everything's going on. I'm like, I need to just vent to y'all about some other stuff that's going on in my life. So as always, be real, be you, do what you came here to do, and be the light that you want to see. Peace.